How tempting would it be to change things if you knew you could change your truth with just a swipe of ink and pen? If you write the truth as you wish it was, and then you forget how it really is there still a piece of you somewhere inside that instinctively knows the twists of your lies? If there is, do you suppress it? Do you believe in it? Or do you slowly just lose your mind? Those are the questions I was asking myself while reading The Forgetting by Sharon Cameron. This book is not at all what I thought it was going to be. Hello, welcome to Soul Stained Ink. My name is Beth, and today I am going to do a quick review of The Forgetting for you. I thought this was a fantasy book. Check out the cover. That looks pretty fantastical. Check out the hardback. That's gorgeous. Again, looks pretty fantastical. The summary talks about the forgetting, which sounds pretty fantastical. This book was a lot more dystopian and dark than I expected it to be. And Angela from Writing Is My Heart, who I buddy read this with, said the exact same thing. We were not expecting the dark twists and turns. We were not expecting all of the family drama and the hint of contemporary that went along with this book. Did it take away from the story? Not really. In fact, in a lot of places, it added to it. Now, the first 3 chapters, more like the first 5 chapters actually, were kind of difficult for me to get through. And I was really concerned because I am not a fan of dystopian. In fact, all of those dystopians that a lot of people really love are books that are on my will never read again and really dislike and think that they're poorly written lists. I think The Forgetting was written very, very well. I'm really pleased with it, actually. I gave it a 4 star, and I'm actually really looking forward to the end of the year when the next book comes out. It's called The Remembering. So this book follows Nadia, and Nadia is the only person in Canaan who can remember past the forgetting. Now, the forgetting happens every 12 years. Every 12 years, something goes on, and everybody in town loses their memories. So everybody in town carries around a little journal and they fill it in with their day to day happenings so that at the end of 12 years, they can go to the archives and they can remember who they were. Hopefully, when the forgetting happens, everybody will have their current journal on them, has their names, their family names, basically who they are, what they do, who they belong with, etc. Now, if you wanted to, you could cross out names, go through the forgetting, and no longer have brothers, sisters, husbands, wives, that second cousin that really annoys you. Yeah, you know who you are. You wouldn't know that you had them. However, if you don't write down who you're dating or who you're married to, all of that, then they don't exist either. So all of the important things get written down. Now, the front of the book says, I am made of my memories. And that is something that all of the people in New Canaan are pressed to remember. They are supposed to write down their memories. They're supposed to write down their truth. And you have to write down the truth. That is something that is just beat into them. Well, not beat into them, but is impressed upon them. You have to write down your truths. One of my favorite quotes from this book, there are little notes from Nadia's diaries in front of every chapter. And one of my favorite quotes is at the end, chapter 22. For those who forget, I think the loss must feel a little like death. Um, that's absolutely positively true. I worked as a CNA, and that was the first thing I thought of when I read that quote, and really something I had thought of throughout the entire book is that people who have Alzheimer's or some sort of dementia that makes them forget, they know that they've forgotten. And this entire book made me feel like I might be able to identify a little bit more with people who have Alzheimer's, who have memory loss issues. From reading this, I might be able to understand them a little more. Uh, but that was not the only part of the book that was interesting. It's one of the best written dystopians I've run across. Now, my favorite character is actually not Nadia. My favorite character is her love interest, who I thought was going to drag the story down, but didn't. He gave it so much more depth and really pushed our main character, which I found refreshing after reading so many books that have a love interest that are either just kind of there or that are really a catalyst for our main character to completely change who they are and forget everything they wanted to do. Gray really pushes Nadia, and he makes sure that she is where she needs to be, doing what she needs to be doing, and opening up in ways that she's never opened up before, but not in the cliche way that you're thinking. Yeah, I see you thinking it. No, Nadia is very closed off because she is the only person in Canaan that we know of that can remember before the last forgetting. There are some other incredible twists and turns in this book that I really think you guys would enjoy. And if you have not picked it up yet, I think that you probably ought to. If you enjoy dystopian, if you enjoy kind of otherworldly, if you enjoy a good contemporary family drama, romance, and you're willing to add a couple of dystopian elements in with it, pick the book up. If you've read this and you would love to tell me what you thought of it, I would love to hear it. So please leave your comments down below. If you haven't read it yet, but now you're going to pick it up, let me know that as well. If you enjoyed this review, please give me a big thumbs up. And if you're new, don't forget to hit the subscribe button before you leave. I will talk to you guys again soon. And until next time, I hope that you read something good and write something even better. Bye.